Welcome, comic book artists, writers, and fans, to the ninth episode of the Panel Pod. Today, we're joined by up and coming comic book artist Andrew Rende. His visibility in the sphere of independent comics is like no other. With his creator on title Limerence, he blends all sorts of influences that culminate into a style that makes Andrew original. Today, we talk about his process of creating Limerence, developing your own voice visually, Daniel Warren Johnson's touch on Limerence, and the manga that influences storytelling. Thanks as always for listening, and make sure you support Andrew and Limerence through the links in my description.
What's going on, everybody? This is the ninth episode of the Panel Pod, and today I got Andrew Rende. What's going on, man?
Yo, Noah, thank you for having me. Thank you for all the support you've given me.
Dude, thank you so much for just being an incredible artist that I can admire and be inspired by. I want to get right into it, bro. Tell me what's going on with Limerence. It's been doing really well.
Oh, dude, with Limerence, I've got thumbnails right here. So we're still in this stage. We're still like thumbnailing stuff, trying to get it figured out because I'm doing a children's book. So I'm trying to finish that before I go like all
What?
into do.
This is a scoop. Tell me about this.
Yeah, it's nothing crazy. It's with my girlfriend's aunt. She wrote a whole script and it's like her passion project. Um, I'm really worried about working with other people. So doing it with someone that I know uh, gives me a little more freedom, and it's kind of fun to work together on it with her.
That's really cool. Are you switching up your style for this one? Are you like going the Limerence approach? Like, what is this book gonna look like?
Uh, I'm taking more inspiration from Hayao Miyazaki. So, reading, he has a book called Shuna's Journey. I've been reading that, trying to balance between like a comic book art style and a children's book art style.
What
So,
can you tell us about the children's book? Is there like crazy characters, inside Limerence? Do you have like some anthropomorphic characters, some interesting designs? Are you getting creative with the designs?
sort of. It's about a dog named Panda, and she kind of looks like a boxer, but she's a mutt. And playing around with the way she looks is fun, but also I'm laying out all the groundwork, and then I'm gonna add these like little whimsical elements to it, which is always my favorite part of making books right now. So making the humans look characterized and funny is really a challenge for me.
Yeah, you say it's a challenge, but you have like such a natural ability. Like even on the cover of Limerence, like the way that you draw figures is super cool and super fun. I know you mentioned Miyazaki as an influence, but like where did this style come from? I wrote in my questions, is this something that you try to implement into your style, a certain style or artist, or did this just come out of your brain? Like where did this style come from?
So I'll quote Frank Miller where he says, an artist's style is like the culmination of them fixing all their mistakes up until now.
Mm.
So as a like 17-year-old, 18-year-old, I was just straight up copying Daniel Warren Johnson, and he gave me so much grace being like, dude, I get it. You're young. Like keep doing it. And as my like brain developed, I'm only 22 now, but as my brain developed, I kind of realized like I just have to fix these mistakes. I'm making mistakes copying his style. I'll just try to fix those in my own way. And I guess that led to the way I draw now. But a bunch of other artists influencing me as well.
And you spent about 2 years working on Limerence, is that correct?
Yes.
So I noticed there was one of the posts that you made, and it was like a difference between, I believe it was like one of the last pages, or going towards the end of the story, and it was like a shot of the city, and you had Sango and your other character sitting together. Did you redraw that? So I just want to know like that process of the 2 years, what that looked like for you, changing your style and kind of developing yourself.
Yeah, dude, a lot of redrawing and trying to figure it out. Is this the one you're talking about?
I'm looking
Like this
for it now.
drawing?
Yeah, that one right there. Is that,
Okay.
oh man, is that the original?
Yeah, it's in a
Oh
sketchbook.
my
Yeah.
God, that's crazy.
Yeah, dude. This drawing this was crazy. It's a miracle that I drew this piece in the sketchbook. But the question I redrew a lot of stuff like all the time because when I drew that in the sketchbook, it was kind of like concept art. I had no idea what the story was going to be. I was like, I'm just
Mm.
going to draw cool shit. So when it came time to actually make the story, I found out that I had to redraw stuff and make it look similar to the art I drew before that.
Wow. That's really
Yeah, sorry.
incredible. Yeah, you just blew my brain there by showing me that out of a sketchbook. I even wrote in here like this is what's so cool about this conversation. How important is your sketchbook to you?
The most important. I bring it with me to work. Where is it? I've been carrying these little ones now. I love these little sketchbooks because I put them in my back pocket and it lets me. Sometimes I draw from life, but other times it's just to get stuff out, you know? So
Mm.
I've got, I don't know, I did this
Oh my
while I was going to
gosh.
work. It's small stuff, but sometimes you strike gold and you get like a cool idea, like Sengo and some rubble or something.
You just have this texture, like this ability to like bring out texture in your drawings. Like what did you study? Like where did this come from? Like I feel like I kind of asked that earlier and I might have cut you off, but like are you
No?
studying drawing? Are you in school?
No, no school.
Oh.
I left school twice. I could be super long-winded about that, but do you want me
Talk
to?
about it. That's what we're here for if that's what you're comfortable with, you know?
So it was a big deal for me to go to college because, my dad didn't go to college. My dad's side of the family were super excited for me to go, and they did all this work to get me in. And I showed up to like an online class, and my professor, this was during COVID, and my professor was my friend, like someone that I knew, and I had no idea. I was like, Derek, what the fuck? I was like, why are you my professor? And it just led to a lot of overthinking. And I was like, dude, if he's my professor, like I could just do this professionally. And
Mm.
it kind of motivated me to not go to school because also an illustration degree isn't super important. It's not like it's not in the books for me. But then I tried to go again, but it was an art school in Paris. And I don't like academics. I don't like that whole structure. It holds me back, I
Hmm.
think. So I
Yeah.
left twice.
You have like a very even like just the way that you attack a page, and I say attack because you just have such like a visceral style.
Thank
And it's also just complementary to the story that you're telling, but visually there are no rules that you really follow. And when I was making the video on you, it was like hard for me to describe like, okay, what is it that drew Rende? What makes it Drew Rende so appealing? And it has to do with your designs and just that overall creativity. So I would say props for not going to school in
you.
that aspect because it's made you such an incredible artist. Tell me about your main character, Sango.
Yeah. Okay. Sengo comes from my love for Overwatch. So, one of my favorite video games, Arnold Sang, one of the artists on that game, I love him and his work so much. His design for Genji really inspired Sengo. And at first, Sengo was a robot. Like that sketchbook drawing I showed you, he was supposed to be a robot. He was supposed to be a ripoff of Genji.
Wow.
And then I kind of just, I don't know, I maybe took inspiration from other things, but it just kind of ended up turning into a blue guy with a ski mask. And, I added some Genji elements in there.
No, that's really cool. And I
Yeah.
was looking at the back of the book, um, and you said in here it says in cars and planes to different countries and back. I mean, how far has Limerence before it obviously culminated into a full book? Like how big of a part is it in your life? I mean, it just seems like it's been a part of your growth and your character arc, so to speak.
Yeah, it's kind of scary because like I feel like I know those people in the book now, like those fake characters, and they've followed me since I went to the art school in Paris. I had this book, and this is where I started drawing the characters, but it was for a book called Summer's Interlude. So this was the lineup. You got Bufo there. He kind of looks the
Oh
same.
yeah, that's so
Maggie,
cool.
yeah, Sengo. This was Sengo spiritually, but yeah, this is where the characters started, and I've just been like developing them ever since, like their motivations and their shortcomings and stuff like that. But it's super important to me. I love making characters.
Yeah, tell me about some of your favorite characters. It could be from manga, it could be television, anything. It doesn't even have to inspire you.
Okay, my favorite characters. That's so tough because there's so many, but I could go with Genji. That's an easy one.
Hmm.
I like everything about him, like his body image issues and all that stuff. I think that's super awesome. Uh, just a well written character. Beta Ray Bill. I always have to talk about Danny Warren Johnson, but Beta Ray Bill, Argent Star, specifically that book, the way he writes that character is like so human and so well done. And I guess a classic one is Chihiro from Spirited Away. That's a really well written character, a lot of character development.
I didn't expect that one. That's pretty cool.
Sorry, I gave you so many. I gave you so
No,
many
no, no,
pieces.
no. I love it. Yeah. No, let's
Yeah.
let's talk about it. You brought up Daniel Warren Johnson. I saw in his story, I don't know how long ago this was. How did he get his hands on limerence?
Oof. Oh man. I met him in Oakland at a comic book store for a signing. And I gave it to him, but he forgot to take it. So the comic book store, Cape and Cowl Comics, shout out, they sent it to him. That's how he got it, you know? Uh, I was always too scared to text him. I'm still terrified to text him. But after he got Limerence, he actually gave me his phone number. And we kind of talk, but I'm always too nervous because
Oh my
he's
gosh, that's so cool. But
yeah,
that's like no, I mean, you're developing as an artist, you have some cool names attached. I mean, tell me about also just the success from Limerence. This is your first comic book, like it's not often that you could say that success arises so quickly, I'd say from an independent creator. Tell me more. I mean, Daniel Warren Johnson can't be the only big thing that's come out of working on Limerence, right?
yeah. I mean, it definitely wouldn't exist without him. But
Hmm.
you're right. There's been a lot of big stuff. Like we're up to 800 books sold. I don't like talking about books sold, but that's the hard part about it is managing like a business, I guess, a very small business on my website. Um, Having that amount of books sold gives you some kind of credit when it comes to, like people that own comic book stores or writers and editors that follow you. Like they want to know, I
Hmm.
guess. And since I'll mention him again, since Daniel posted about it, I've gotten way more like editors and writers reaching out to me about it.
Hmm.
And that's the biggest part about it is getting your name out there in the industry. They just want to see that you can make a book, I guess.
Yeah.
Be reliable.
And
Um,
visibility, is just super tough in this time. I don't like to
yeah,
use the word oversaturated, but there are a lot of people that are trying to make their own books. And it's just so cool that you're able to stand out in such a way that somebody like Daniel Warren Johnson could see that potential in you because it's really there. And I don't think he liked it because you're a fan of him because it's hard to even find those influences in here. And I mentioned that earlier when I was making that
yeah.
video on you. So that's really incredible. I want to know a little bit more about the process of making it. That 2 year time, what was going through your head? What was going through your mind, story wise and art direction wise? How many things did you change before coming to the end?
Oof. Everything. I changed everything before coming to the end. Like it wasn't even supposed to be about his dad. It was going to be about Maggie, the love interest. But it just seemed kind of cliche, I guess. It seemed kind of weird. That was the biggest thing I changed was adding his dad into the story. And everyone always asks me like, is this a personal story? No. I have a very loving dad. It's not about my dad.
Like through those 2 years that you were working on it, I mean, what was going through your mind story wise? Like, obviously, you said you changed it, towards the coming towards the end of it, but I just want to know inspiration wise, like limerence, what does that mean? Like, where did that come from?
Yeah, once I named the book Limerence, it kind of all clicked together for me. It's kind of like I always explain it differently, but it's like yearning for um feelings that you're never going to get from somebody, you know? It's kind of like a just a unsubstantiated, I don't know how to say that word.
No, you're good.
Unsubstantiated, whatever. You're not going to get those feelings back from that person, and it's kind of like insane to go after that and search for that. So,
Yeah, is that kind of like just the character arc of Sango in general and just kind of
yeah.
like, that sadness that now I look at this cover completely differently when you express it that way. There's kind of like
Yeah.
a sadness that comes to that. Am I tracking?
Yeah, that's his hero's journey. He's kind
Hmm.
of like going after it with no reason whatsoever. In issue 2, you find out he's kind of like a conspiracy theorist. He's kind of like a crazy maniac.
Yeah, well, when he was sitting outside of that like convenience store, that's when I got like little hints of that. And that kid was like, "Yo, what's going on with this guy?" I want to find that because that's really funny. I
I
think,
love that
yeah,
photo.
I think it's this page here. Yeah, this one
Yeah,
literally had me cracking out loud. Like,
yeah, that's his
oh my
crash.
goodness. Yeah. If a kid's like, "Yo, dude, hey, like,
Yeah.
come on."
Can I
That's
say
really,
something about that kid in the book?
yeah, please.
The reason that whole scene happened was because in high school, I used to have this beanie that said Duff on it from Simpsons. It was Duff. And my friends would draw this little character called like the Duffler when we were in art class. It's stupid. It's so dumb. But I promised them that if I ever made a comic book, I would put that character in there. And I'm probably gonna have that character in other books in the future as
That's
like an
really
Easter.
cool. That it actually kind of reminds me of like in Adventure Time they have the worm that kind of like shows up in every
Yeah, dude.
episode and it's like hidden. So that would be kind of cool
Yeah,
way to implement that. And then the Duffler, that's funny, like Duff beer, and then it's like at a convenient mart, like Quickie Mart. I don't know if
yeah,
that
dude.
was intentional, but
Probably. It probably was, yeah,
you have a few
without
more
me knowing.
little Easter eggs in here. I don't think I can point them out right away. Could you tell us about any little references or things that you threw in here?
Bufo. That name comes from Adventure Time. Straight up. I'm
Just
sorry.
which character's Bufo?
Uh, it was. It's called the Adventure Time: The Distant Lands,
Oh
and
yeah, yeah, I'm familiar
yeah,
with that series.
yeah. The Bufo frog. It's that wizard guy, the wizard frog with the purple hat and the stars on it. That's Bufo. His name's Bufo. My girlfriend's brother actually pointed it out to me, and he was like, "Dude, is this from Adventure Time?" I was like, "Yeah, it is." And he was the first person to get that. I'm so surprised. Yeah,
I,
shameless.
I I sense some familiarity, but I didn't ever point it to like Adventure Time or like one thing. Like that's what I was saying earlier. It's hard to like pinpoint. But Buffo, I think he like gave or he like trained Finn and Jake to like get magic powers and like get all the stars. Yeah, that's a great episode.
Yeah, dude, one of my favorites. I love Adventure Time. I used to talk about that on TikTok, how that was a huge inspiration. But like years have passed now, and it's kind of not as much, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of faded off a little bit. And I that's cool that you mentioned that. I want to know about the world within Limerence. I mean, it's really big, but yeah, just tell me about the world and building that.
Oh, dude, you're giving me such a good chance here. I have to say thank you because
Of
no
course.
one's gonna know this for so long. Um, I'm spoiling the book by saying this, but Limerence is kind of there. Most of the world is a wasteland. It takes place in California, and that's all I have fleshed out right now. But he lives in this like giant reimagined San Francisco, and on the outskirts, there's like AI tanks running around causing havoc and monsters, silly monsters. He's going to travel to a mushroom village, and they're going to point him to his dad. But it all ties back to that conspiracy thing where Sengo's like living in this giant city and has no idea of the outside world.
Hmm.
So that's
That
kind of what I
yeah.
got.
That gives me, it kind of reminds me of like Ready Player One if they were to like kind of go
Oh,
outside of what that looks like too. That's kind of where my imagination was going. I'm excited to see him go outside of his own realm and element. Like I would love to see some of your environments because you're able to capture backgrounds really well, like some
thank
forestation or some deserts. Are there you looking to explore new environments?
yes, but only to save time. I love drawing those environments. But dude, if I drew another cityscape, I'd cry, dude. It's so hard. Like I have a kind of a reputation for drawing that stuff now, where it's like, oh, you could be an architecture student.
Right.
I want the next issue to take place in the forest, in a village. It's also fun. It's fun to draw that stuff.
Yeah, that would be a really cool vibe. And how big of a part? I know in your covers there's a lot of color. Would you ever think of be like printing a version of your of Limerence in color?
Dude, I'd love that. I imagine it in color. Sengo's got the blue skin, and that sort of plays a part in the story, but I can't convey that without color. You
Hmm.
know, it was supposed to be colored, but the black and white, it looks great and it goes faster in the whole process of
And
making the book.
you're toning digitally?
Yeah, some of it is traditional. Like the first 6 pages have some traditional tones and
Wow.
like some Copic marker on there. But yeah, most of it's digital.
And are you doing the lettering as well? I'm kind of asking these fast-paced questions.
No,
The
all right.
lettering I'm noticing as I'm going through.
Yeah, my friend Jacoby McNamara, his name's Hound of the Sea Online. He gave me a lot of good pointers on lettering when it comes to Procreate. Because when I first started lettering it, it was all spaced out and it looked messed up. So
I want to
yeah, that
know, that's really cool. No, it looks amazing. I want to know some of your favorite comic books. I also want to know some of your favorite manga. Maybe you pick one from each or pick a couple from each. Feel free to talk. This is your space.
yeah, dude. I'll pick one because I can be very long-winded about that. Um, favorite manga of all time is definitely Domu. I know you talked about that in the video,
Yeah.
but Domu's so good, dude. It inspired so many like TV shows. Stranger Things is super inspired by Domu.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then shout out Lone Wolf and Cub. Sorry, I did too.
Oh my gosh. Oh my, I had Lone Wolf like ready to go a minute ago.
Dude, I
Hold on.
love Lone Wolf.
Hold on, I gotta grab it.
You got to
Oh,
grab it. Okay.
Lone Wolf and Cub, yeah. Let's talk
Yes,
about it. Is
I'm
this
doing
is a
two.
big influence on you?
I've been trying to find those single issues. I can't. But I it's very
I'll have to
recent.
hook you
Lone Wolf
up,
and
bro.
Cub.
I know there's a bin filled with like all the issues, but at like
Yeah,
a random vintage shop by my house. Like nobody ever goes through those bins. Like
dude.
I'll have to send you some.
Yeah, you got to buy all of those because I can't even find it at my Comic Cons. But my friend Yamal Duryea put me onto this. Yams, shout out Yams, Felix comic book art. He put me
Mm.
on to Lone Wolf and Cub, and he commissioned me to do a piece. So I've been studying it ever since.
It
Damn, I
is
like the
incredible.
format.
It's beautiful.
That is sick.
Yeah, so do you try to come out with like some of these brush? I'm trying to find a piece in your work that like kind of resembles that. I know in your commissions, and I kind of want to talk about your commission work because while
Yeah,
Limerence is amazing, I just feel like you can see yourself excelling like just in your commission work alone.
thank you, thank you.
Um,
Yeah, the commission work. Sorry, I'll let you.
yeah, traditionally, like just those approaches that you're taking, like that definitely falls in line with this kind of look. Talk to me about
Thank,
that.
yeah, when you mentioned seeing my progress in the commission work, that kept motivating me to make the comic book because I would study my own commission work, if that makes sense. I would look at the mistakes I made on one and do the same thing on the next one, but just 1% better. You know,
Mm.
that helped me improve a lot. Um,
The shonen approach.
yes, exactly. Kaizen, dude. Kaizen, 1% better. Just trying to fix my old mistakes.
Traditionally, like you're using brushes, like tell me about
Yes.
your process.
Yes, I'm trying to get better at brushes.
I
This
love
was
that
mostly,
Batman. I saw that one. Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, I'm very happy with this because it's all brush. Like I've done better drawings, but it's all with a brush pen, so it looks super dope. That was all with a brush pen. Most of
This
it.
is insane. Oh my God. Yeah. I don't know if you guys know, but yeah, Drew sent me this one and it's the Ninja Turtles. I couldn't even decide who I wanted you to draw because I'm like, oh man, I don't want to give him Spidey because I have a Spidey drawing of yours. Um, but no, this was like the perfect choice. And then you said which one? Well, I told you I just wanted one, and then you're like, oh, I'll put all four. And I'm like, oh my God, like, dude, yeah, I was blown away. So,
Yo, so I think you might have seen it, but I've done that lineup before. You know, I love drawing the turtles like lined up
uh-huh.
all together, and I've done that's my third time doing it, and I think that's my best one because I was looking at my old ones like, okay, this is weird, this anatomy's bad, and I tried to fix it. But
This one
yeah,
came out super cool. And the pizza, like at the top, it took me like probably a day to realize like that's what was happening exactly. Because I had looked at it a bunch of times, but then I'm like, wait, oh my gosh. So looking up at the pizza, like, bro, it just like all connected for me, and it's really cool and well done. I saw your other turtle pieces as well. How far apart would you say those were?
the first one was in like 2022. Second one was in 23. No, 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 24. They're all 2 years apart. 22,
How
24.
how long have you been drawing?
My whole life.
Oh
Like
my
it's
God.
just yeah, seriously. I started taking it seriously in middle school, and then ever since then, it's just kind of been something that I have to do, and it's like if I'm having a bad day or if you get a little depressed, I guess you draw, and it helps me feel better. Like drawing is something I can't avoid since middle school, I guess.
Hmm.
So not to sound too pretentious or weird,
No, no, not at all. Not at all. I feel better when I draw too, and I suck. So
I
well,
was going to
that
talk
says a
about that
lot.
eventually. I love seeing your drawings, dude. You're
Dude,
already
thanks.
better.
I just try to emulate like what I really love. Like, I don't know, like I've been really nervous more lately, and I think that's been helping me become better because I'm like, I'm not ready to like share these yet. Before I'm like, yeah, I can like knock these out, but then I just keep seeing more and more art, and I'm like, there's more I feel like I can do. And so I'm just trying to like stretch those muscles, as much as I can.
Yeah, dude, it takes so much longer than you think as well. Because I started drawing when I was like 13 every day I would draw. And my dad gave me a cardboard box and he was like, just fill it up, you know? So I would
Mm.
fill it up with slop, like horrible drawings. But I learned so much from it, dude. I learned so much from doing that. And you're getting good so quickly. Like if you keep doing this for a year straight, you'll be You can't even imagine how much better you'll be.
I started, yeah, it's funny. I started like in February of last year telling myself like I wouldn't go a day without like putting the pencil down, like, or without picking the pencil up. So I've been drawing every day for about a year now. But like, yeah, I've already noticed just some things I'm like, okay, I don't even have to like look at reference sometimes. And yeah, it gets really fun. But I think it's because I just absorb so much of it and I just love
Yeah,
it so much. But yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. Coming from you, that's incredible.
I hope
Um,
you never seriously.
no,
Yeah.
it's with the like interviewing and stuff and like writing a lot, it has kind of like put it in the back seat sometimes,
Okay.
but every day
Fair.
I sketch. Every single day I sketch, like it's when I'm at
Awesome.
work, I'm sketching. I love it so much. I want to know, you mentioned that like some of your characters within Limerence that you had kind of drew them early on. Did that come in that middle school phase, or did you have other characters that you were thinking about, or characters that you liked to draw a lot when you were younger, when you first started drawing?
Well, in middle school, all I drew was Deadpool. So I probably did like 100 Deadpool drawings. But the characters for Limerence didn't spawn in. They didn't like come about until after high school. And I just wanted to write a book, you know.
Mm.
I was writing stuff about a Genji fan comic and then I wanted to do a Darth Vader and I was just writing stuff, not good stuff. And then I was like, I'm gonna make my own characters because I can do whatever I want. I'm not limited by canon or other things I know about these characters. I can just do what I want. So that was after high school.
No, that's really cool. And some of your commissioned, what I wrote down as commissioned sequentials, because not that I've never heard of that, but it's very not that it's rare either, and maybe because I'm newer to the scene, but seeing commissioned sequentials, like you did a character. What was the most recent character you did that was
Oh,
like who is
the
it?
McCree from Overwatch.
Oh, from Overwatch. That was such a badass piece.
Dude, I'm gonna pull it out. Thank you. If
And
I
I'm
can,
gonna
yeah.
pull up your Instagram here because you did some other ones that I really enjoyed as well. That's
Yeah.
incredible. I just can't even believe that that's like real. It doesn't even
Okay.
look real to me.
This was not a commission. This was just for fun. I needed to get it off my chest. But
Wow.
yeah.
Just to get off your chest, ladies and gentlemen.
Well,
By
um,
the way,
okay, I don't want to sound like an ass. I don't want to sound
no,
like
you don't. It's just you're so impressive, seriously. And
at Comic
that
Cons.
one is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I was so happy with this, but I never finished it. It kind of hurts me, like still even now. This would have been so great if I finished it, but I had to start over and do another one. This I did this like 2 years ago.
And when you're grabbing that like texture when it comes to metal, are you doing something different with your lines? I just want to know from like a not a technological, but from like yeah, a technical point.
Yeah,
'Cause you render metal a lot differently than in your clothing, you know?
thank you. I That's something I'm struggling with is uh texturing with lines. It's so hard, dude. It doesn't even make sense to me sometimes, but the more I draw Limerence issue 2, I'm trying to figure it out. I have a different approach to inking metal, and it's just like thicker going into thinner lines. I don't know how to articulate it, but it's conscious for me. I just don't know how I do it exactly.
Hmm. I also noticed the type of maybe not the type of paper you use, but you kind of go with this like landscape. Um, you kind of go across this one. I got a vertical one up, but I noticed a lot of your pieces are kind of horizontal, like your Dune piece. Is that like what's behind that? Because not a lot of artists work that way either.
Yeah, I think that's like subconscious. That comes from my love for movies, I think. It's good that you mentioned the Dune one, dude. Because yeah, movies are always shot in that horizontal aspect.
Exactly, yeah.
So that's probably why that happens. But now that I'm like older now and I want to work for Marvel and DC and all that, I have to draw in the comic format. So that's why your drawing's like that. That's why I did this McCree drawing and all that stuff. So I'm trying to move away from it, but I just love that horizontal aspect ratio. You fit so much more.
It's interesting you bring that up. There's an artist, he's one of my favorites, Darwin Cook, for the DC New Frontier. Every single page is either a splash or three panels. So it would be interested to see you do a book that way too, like just a one-off or a one-shot. Would you be interested in doing something like that?
Oh, dude, 100%. I'm studying Toriyama right now for issue 2.
Oh,
That's the
sweet.
big that's the big inspiration for issue 2 is Toriyama. Every page is like 3 to 5 panels. I'm trying not to do 6 panels on any page. I'm trying not to. I don't know if you notice in issue 1 there's like a page with 11 panels or something. There's like
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you do have like these very, yeah, a lot of panels, but it's
it's
cool.
a
Like I love it. I love it so much.
yeah. I'm trying not to overdo it. So I would love to do that, the Darwin Cook style. What a legend, by the way. I
Hmm.
love Darwin
Rest
Cook.
in peace. Yeah.
Yeah, rest in peace. Yeah, issue two should have some of that, I hope.
Okay, if you could adapt a movie into a comic book, what movie would you pick?
Bro, um, a movie into a comic book. Oh, dude, that's so tough.
You
The
got to
the
do
movie that keeps popping into my head is Bottle Rocket by Wes Anderson.
a Wes Anderson pick. Oh man,
Oh, I love Wes Anderson,
that
dude.
would be
So
amazing.
yes, Bottle Rocket would be super fun to do in a comic book style, especially because it's not as crazy as Limerence is, with like
Mm.
anthropomorphic animals and shit. That'd be cool.
You could do that too, though. I mean, he did direct Fantastic Mr. Fox, so
Yes, he
um,
did.
but yeah,
Yeah.
like that straightforward, like flat approach, that would be really, really interesting to see. Like, yeah, that would be really cool. That was a really cool answer. So you're a big movie fan. Um, I'd like to just know what artists' favorite movies are too, because you're inspired by manga, you're inspired by traditional comics, or American comics, I would say as well. What are some of your favorite movies?
My favorite movies. I'm pulling up my letterbox right now so I don't fumble this answer. But
Follow through
it's
on Letterboxd, guys.
yeah, dude. Animation's huge for me. So one of my favorite movies, Porco Rosso. Um,
Don't know, you're putting me on.
dude, I
That's
think if you
that's
watch
insane.
Porco Rosso, it's a Miyazaki movie. It's a Studio
Okay.
Ghibli movie. But
Oh, Studio Ghibli. Okay, yeah, I've never even heard of that one though. That's really cool.
you'll love it. I wouldn't say it's underrated, but it doesn't get as much love as it deserves. It's so
Hmm.
good. That's a huge inspiration for me. Darjeeling Limited by Wes Anderson. I don't know why I'm showing it up, but
No, no, yeah, this is fine. That's really cool.
Darjeeling
These are so
Limited.
niche, bro. These are not
Are
like
they?
these are not regular picks,
Bro, I'm
bro.
so
Yeah.
pretentious. I'm so
No, you're
pretentious.
not. No, bro. This is what makes your stuff so cool.
Yes, I mean, sorry, the last one. I have to say this one
Yeah.
because it changed my life. Midnight in Paris. That movie
Mm.
actually made me a different person after I watched it. Unfortunately, it's a Woody Allen movie, and he's
Yes, as we know, kind
so
of a weirdo, but
yeah. But I love that movie.
yeah, it's a great movie. And that kind of love aspect that you have there, that sadness kind of plays a part into the story as well for Limerence,
Oh yeah,
I'd say.
the character writing, big time. Yeah.
Uh, from a writing aspect, yeah, tell me about where your writing comes from. Are you kind of just like faking it till you make it? Are you taking intentional approaches to build a story? What's your writing process like?
It took me a while to realize it because I was faking it. I was BSing around writing.
Just like all of us, you start somewhere.
Yeah, I'd never learned anything about it, and then um, focusing on characters helped me. So instead of focusing on like where the story's going to go, I was like, okay, so Sengo does this, and then he does this, and that makes this happen, you know? And that helped me make the story and figure out the character. Like, okay, he did this, why did he do it? You know? And once I start asking questions like that, it kind of just makes it easier to write.
Hmm. Just kind of like that cause and effect, and being able to
Yes,
play around with their personalities as well, because that's like found in the dialogue too.
100%. Yeah, Bufo's the easiest character to write because he's not serious at all.
Yeah, it seems like you have the most fun with him.
Yeah, he's a wild card, so I could do whatever I want with him, you know. I
That's
really love writing him.
so out of the success of Limerence, that's going to bring even more. You were featured in Comics Magazine. I believe that's the name of the title. Do you have that there? Let's see that.
Or I yeah, I do. I've been staring at this every so often, every
That's
chance I get.
insane.
Dude, yeah. So Joseph Keating reached out to me. The editor of the whole book, I think. Yeah, he's kind of the editor of that whole book. He just reached out to me and he was saying that people were showing my work to him.
Wow.
And as I'm doing now, I was very long-winded with my answers, and he cut it and edited it perfectly. Like he made it look so good, and it was such an honor, and I'm still like super hyped about it. So,
Yeah, I mean, you're featured in there with, I think there was interviews with like Scott Snyder was in there.
dude, right? Yeah, how crazy is that? My mom had to chat GPT Scott Snyder because I told it to her, and it described Scott Snyder as like the equivalent of an Oscar winner, you know?
I
Like,
mean, yeah, he's seriously done immense work for like just making comic books good, good writing. Like, geez, like
Yeah,
Court of Owls, like, come on.
dude, he's a legend, living legend. And Kyle Higgins is in there. Who he doesn't know who I am, but I know him. He made the massive verse or something like that. It was Radiant
Kyle
Black.
Higgins, Matt. Oh yeah, Radiant Black. Yeah, yeah, I'm familiar with his name. It took
This
me a second.
this man, I don't know if you'll see that, but
Yeah, I see
Mr.
his name there. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah.
I just like Kyle Higgins, dude. He started as one of us, you know. He
Mm.
was just like making his book, and now he's got a whole universe and a whole line of books, and he's really inspiring. Like he is the definition of what I want to do with my career, you know.
Yeah,
So he's
I
awesome.
I would say Radiant Black too was like one of the first like characters that kind of stood out to me, like original new characters. I'm like, oh my gosh, like that character's cool, you know? He definitely
Yeah,
captures
dude.
that. I want to
100.
know, do you have time for comics nowadays? Are you reading any?
I do, yeah. Obviously, I'm reading Absolute Batman. I think they made a great decision bringing in Eric Canetti. It's incredible. That's why Scott Snyder is so legendary. He knows which artist to pick, you know, like he knows what's popular, what looks good, and all that.
Here we
And
are.
boom,
Took me a
there it
minute.
is,
Here
dude.
we are.
Yeah,
Oh, so that came out. I didn't even see that that one came out already.
yeah, last
Oh
Wednesday
my
night along
God.
with Comics the Magazine. So yeah, assorted crisis events as well. I haven't picked one up in a while, but I read that recently. And anything Daniel Warren Johnson puts out,
Yeah, he did
of
the
course.
annual of the Absolute Batman, and that was just like off the chain. Like, I
Yeah,
mean, really powerful stuff, man.
insane. It blew him up all over again. He was the
Yeah,
most
he
talked
came back around. He's just been like maintaining like this presence in outside the comic space and like in the comic space because there's people talking about him that don't even know anything about comics, which is great. That's what we want, you know?
Yeah,
We want to
expanding
bring
it,
more people in.
doing a great job.
I wanted to ask you, okay, I've noticed in some of your pieces, for instance, you did a Tyler the Creator piece. How big a part does music play in your style or maybe in your process? Do you listen to music when you're making it? Do you think about music while you're drawing something? Tell me about that because I feel that when I read some of your work.
Thank you. That's like super observant. That's super cool that you noticed that. I don't pay attention. I mean, I love lyrics. I like writing, but just the feeling that a song gives me will influence like the way the drawing looks. Like I posted a George Harrison song to the McCree
Mm.
drawing, you know? And it's not really Western, but it feels Western and it matches the drawing, I guess. So I would say that's about the only way it influences me. Tyler the Creator's been a long time favorite.
Mm.
And, you know, his whole message inspires me a lot. So
Yeah, just like being yourself and like putting yourself out there for sure.
yeah, not doubting yourself. I love that.
It's
That
cool.
stuff.
I wrote down here because I don't think I've heard anyone bring it up, but like one thing that is cool, there's a lot of negatives to social media. But one thing there's a positive to like social media with when it comes to music is you're able to pair your drawings and the music together and it just feels right. And I think that's really cool. So I think that would be an
Thanks.
interesting point of topic and you get that across really, really well.
Thank you. It is huge.
I want to know, and you have a very refined taste as well. It's not pretentious. It's great because I listen to the same stuff. So,
Thank you. I know I'm using that word a lot.
yeah.
Sorry.
Um,
Thank you.
I want to know a little bit more about Limerence too. When is that coming? When can we expect that?
All right. Limerence issue 2 is going to come at the end of June, hopefully. That's my deadline. I want to have the children's book done by the end of April. And then right after I turn 23. That's my biggest motivator. I don't
Hmm.
want to be I don't want to be like 30 when the book is finished, you know. So I
You're
want to
so young, my guy. Like it's incredible. I'm sure you hear it all the time, and it's probably like annoying to hear, but you're so young, bro. Like you have so much to go. Like you're doing great.
yeah, I feel young. I like being young.
Yeah,
But
you got a
yeah,
lot of energy. You got like a spunk to you, bro. I think that's it's just gonna
thank
take
you.
you even further, bro. Like it's really awesome to see. It's inspiring.
Appreciate it. End
Um,
of
I oh, go ahead. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. End of June. But who knows? I'm not known for my like my punctuality, I
Mm.
guess.
Well,
So
take your time. We're waiting on it, and we're gonna be there when it comes out. I have a couple
thanks.
more questions for you, okay?
All
Um,
right.
if you were to work for either of the big two, or let's say Image, who are some characters that you'd want to tackle in a sequential story?
in a sequential story for a Marvel comic book, it would be The Thing.
Mm.
I
I
feel
saw
like,
your thing, punching the ice guy. That was dope. I like that.
thank you. Yeah, dude, I saw a video of the Ice Agent with Renee and all that, and it pissed me off, and I got mad. And Danny Warren Johnson again, inspiration, like fourth time I've mentioned him. So I did a drawing of it to get it off my chest because I'm not smart enough to like articulate online about politics, but I could draw The Thing punching an Ice Agent, and then Uh, everyone else started posting it, and I'm not saying I did that. It was just so crazy. I was like, "Oh my gosh, dude, everybody's cool. Everybody agrees with this. That's awesome, you know?"
Mm.
And I wish I did it sooner, honestly.
Yeah, and you did
But
such a refined, like I love that piece. And it has so much Jack Kirbyisms. Like, I don't know, you said you wanted to tackle the thing in the sequential. So are you like a fan of Jack Kirby?
oh yeah, I mean, everyone should be a fan of Jack
Yeah,
Kirby,
I
dude.
agree.
Yeah,
I
everyone
agree.
should be. He's just, I mean, his imagination is so insane, dude. I don't know where he comes up with this stuff. It's so crazy. I grew up reading Jack Kirby books, but I didn't know he was Jack Kirby,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
But now that I'm older, I read it and I'm like, dude, how does he come up with this stuff? It's insane. So I feel like I understand the Thing's character a lot, and I could totally do a cool story about him.
I'd love
Uh,
to see it. And I just wanted to mention it's funny that when I'm talking to you and before I prepared for this interview, I'm like, yeah, like I'm gonna ask him how he comes up with this stuff, and it's probably gonna be like pretty like he's gonna not know really. And with Jack Kirby in his interviews, they ask him and he's like, "Oh, well, I just kind of just draw this line and do that." And it's like, Jack, you're not answering the question. They want to know
yeah,
how
he
you're
doesn't know.
drawing. It's just he doesn't know. He just makes it.
Yeah,
He just draws. So that's cool. You
yeah.
kind of interpret that a lot. On the DC side, well, who would you like to draw?
Okay. Um, DC is such a good company, dude, for artists. They're so good. I wish I was a bigger DC fan, but I don't read a lot of
Hmm.
DC, you know. I
Other
would
than
never be able to,
Batman.
other than Batman, you know, because that's like a really good book and it speaks to me. I love it.
Same.
But a DC character I think I could do a good job on is like Green Arrow.
Hmm.
I would love to do
Respect
Green Arrow.
that.
I like drawing guys with bow and arrows and stuff. That would be fun.
That would be really cool.
Plus,
Yeah. A
yeah,
Western Green Arrow from Drew Rende, guys.
yeah.
That would be fire.
I want to make an Overwatch comic more than anything right now. I have a
See, I didn't
Doom
even
Screen.
realize there was lore to over like maybe I'm just becoming unk, but
No,
I didn't even realize like I knew there's game. I'm sure to every game there's lore, but I just didn't realize like how expansive that was.
dude, so much lore. And when the game first came out, 2016, the lore was impeccable, and it was written so well. But then, a guy named Bobby Kotick owned Blizzard. He was like the CFO of Blizzard, all obsessed with money. Lore goes down the drain after like 2021.
Oh,
So I want to, dude, I want to make an Overwatch fan comic that's like based on that old lore. It'd be so easy and so much fun. But yeah,
yeah, you're probably the person that's going to get me into Overwatch if anything, because the way you're
it's
talking about it, that's exciting. Yeah.
it's awesome. The art's great.
I'm gonna have to check that out. I have a question, last question for you, okay?
All right.
If you could go back and talk to a younger Andrew Rende when he first started laying those pencils down for Limerence, what would you tell him?
Uh, Draw faster.
I
I'd
expected
say draw
something more
faster,
dramatic, but I like it. I like where you're going.
dude. Yeah, I would tell him. I don't have anything profound to say to him because I think he knows.
Dude, it's incredible having you here on the podcast. Well, how can we support you? Where are you going to be at next? You appearing at any cons?
Um, Not this year. I don't think. I really wanted to go to Heroes Con because that's the big one for me
Mm,
now.
yeah.
I, I went to a lot last year and 2022 and all these things. I've been to a lot of them, and this year I'm kind of just locked in. I'm saving up money for my own place and trying to put out more art.
Mm.
So yeah, no appearances, unfortunately.
Where can we find you though?
Instagram, Drew Rendy. TikTok, Andrew Rendy. If you search up Andrew Rendy, you'll find me on everything. So if you go to
Incredible.
Noah's Instagram page, you'll find me.
Yeah, I'm always posting about your art because it's just so incredible and it you never cease to amaze me. So again, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the podcast. And bro, stay in touch. Keep killing it out there. We really appreciate you having coming on the ninth episode of the Panel Pod.
Hell yeah. I'm always happy to support you, and thank you for supporting me, dude.